Hello, today I thought I'd like to share with you a really interesting paper, The Light, which you can see all their past issues online. It's called a truth paper, and it was passed to me by my father from a chap he got to know on our local high street, actually. Anyway, today I'd like to read to you, Are We All Being Brainwashed? Nobody knows they're in a cult until they leave it. But what if the majority of mainstream thought and discourse is in fact part of an indoctrination process to get us all to think in a certain way? How would you know if everyone was undergoing the same psychological manipulation and very few people dissented from what is accepted as the norm, that you were actually in a majority cult? If you are alive and reading this, you know you have been brainwashed to some degree or other. We are all born tabula rasa, not even knowing how to get milk from a teat. Everything we know is either via our own senses or from what someone else has taught us. It is vital to note that the quality of that second-hand information is not guaranteed. The history of science teaches us this as fact. The individual is handicapped by coming face to face with a conspiracy so monstrous he cannot believe it exists, said Edgar Hoover, former director of the CIA. We are taught from birth to trust in the established authorities and institutions. But what if they were not run for our benefit? What if their purpose is to box out thinking into certain beliefs? The compartmentalization within every sector and department of both public and private sector means that only those directing the overall policy know exactly what is going on. Everyone else just fulfills their role to the best of their ability, and naturally believes they are contributing to the good of society. This is also true at universities, mostly now sponsored by Bill Gates and other huge foundations and corporations, where because a chemist knows his science works, he will assume the medical pharmaceutical guys have their ducks in a row too. But this is a logical fallacy of which our brains are full. See this month's center spread. Scientific journals are a closed shop. If your results go against the agenda, they simply won't be published. All information and knowledge are thus tightly controlled. Too many things don't seem to work as they should. Yet ordinary people, who generally get a raw deal from those in power, are persuaded once every 4 or 5 years to vote for one of the major political parties who always keep the status quo. One should again ask why when nobody likes politicians. Everyone knows they lie, are corrupt, and are self-serving. Yet every election their numerous past transgressions are somehow forgotten, and we accept again like little children that this time will be different, and their promises to improve things will hold. What else but mass mind control could achieve that? We live in an age where men can declare themselves women and compete in female sports, where children as young as 4 are exposed to masturbation, sexuality, and changing their gender by authorities, where the truth is labelled misinformation and lies defended with vigour on all major media outlets, where fake climate crisis means we have to source the most expensive ways of generating power, where having the wrong opinion will get you fired or imprisoned, and where you are called fascist by those who want to restrict your speech, movement, food, energy, and income. A good comedian would have a field day with all of this madness, but sadly most of them are of the woke variety, pushing the corporate narrative, mocking those who see the truth, and being very unfunny with it. Like doctors, teachers, musicians, and politicians, they have been made afraid for their livelihoods and can't see another way to maintain their lifestyle, status, and income without supporting the corporate agenda. Here is the ultimate expression of thought control. Self-censorship, the exact opposite of the pure human spirit. Perhaps it is time for all of us to examine where exactly our knowledge about the world has come from and use wisdom to discern its truth for ourselves, without, as we have been conditioned to, lazily relying on the logical fallacy of appeal to authority.